She got a telegram that I was dead, and so did my mother. But she said she never ever believed that I was dead.
And what was her name? Tell me a bit about her.
Norma. She was a young girl, and she was very, very clever. She was a lovely dancer, and so was I, and she loved me dancing. Used to take her out and everything until we went to Dieppe. I mean, I can remember standing with my two buddies at the back of the boat, and we're saying, oh boy, this is going to be a piece of cake. Never thinking about getting killed or anything like that. Sergeant Bennett jumped off the boat first, and he ran up towards the wall. And I'm behind him, and he went down. And I crawled up there, and he was unconscious and bleeding in the leg. I mean, picture a whole bunch of soldiers running into a whole pile of bullets, because that's what it was. The guys all around us dying, and some yelling mother and help, and the guy was looking at me and yelling, and part of his backside was shot away. One of my mortar men was wounded. I got him on the boat, and Coxwell said, well, all the people that are not wounded, get off this boat. So I got off the boat. If I'd have stayed with it, I would have got back to England. And there was all little splashes going around me. I thought they were fish until until the penny dropped. They were bullets, and I started to dive underwater out as far as I could. I swam out till I was exhausted and couldn't swim anymore, and the tide brought me back in. And I was only in jockey shorts because I'd thrown my uniform and everything. I got rid of them. I was beneath the cliffs at Dieppe. So I looked up, and along the way I could see an opening, and I thought, geez, if I can get into that opening and get up into the town, maybe the French will help me. When I got there was a big rock, and a German popped up behind it with a gun pointing at me, and I put my hands up. I thought he was going to shoot me, but he didn't. I think he didn't shoot me because I'm a young boy with a pair of jockey shorts with my hands in the air. And anyway, he took me to the top where there was some other POWs, and I stayed there until they took us to a factory, an empty factory. And when I went into the factory, the front, there was a guy I knew at the door, and I said, have you seen my brother Norm? And he said, yes, he's up there. So I went into the factory further up, and here's my brother fast asleep on the floor, and I woke him up, and he started to cry when he seen me. He put his arms around me, and then he says, you're wounded. When he put his arms around me, they were all blood, but I had been wounded very slightly, and I never noticed it. My mother went to the hospital. They put her in the hospital, and Norma was all right, but she didn't believe that I was dead. So as I say, I was a POW 3 years, and I came back, and I remember I was meeting her at a train station in Aldershot, England, and I was waiting for her to come down, and I seen her after 3 years, and it's pretty hard to think about. She cried, and so did I, and I'm doing that now. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. I was so happy. Future generations, I'd like there to be no wars, because nobody wins. I lost a lot of friends.